Hi, I'm Samantha of Goddess Awakening. I'm here to hold a safe space and share with you the true and authentic stories of how we got here. Empowering women, elevating for all. Welcome to another episode of Goddess Awakening. I got Brian back here in the studio with me today.
Which Brian?
Boyfriend Brian.
There we go. Got to make sure.
Best friend Brian doesn't actually come to Oklahoma to hang out with me.
Oh, sick burn.
Called him out. Speaking of Brian, they just finished their 103rd episode of their podcast. So
that's crazy.
Brian is definitely my podcast inspo because that's really why I was like, I'm going to start doing this for myself. So thanks, Brian. He actually, he did lock us in our ice guy for the festival and he got our porta potties locked in. So he's working hard over there in Nashville doing the legwork of some of the really fun stuff about the festival.
Yeah, I know.
We'll just talk about it since we're here right now. Today is September 3rd, and yesterday we announced our final phase of the lineup for Goddess Awakening, and we added our headliners that we added are Kiva
from the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous
and Lita
crew.
Lotus.
Also from Deep, Dark, and Dangerous.
So we're very excited about our additions. We got to share yesterday, and we've been getting lots of attention on Facebook. I feel like especially Instagram, which is cool because I'm not really a big Instagrammer, but I'm trying to be better. But I'm a millennial, so I'm a Facebook person. So I'm really good at Facebook. But the people have been commenting all over our Instagram posts, and it's like international female producers that are like, this is awesome. So that's been really super cool.
It's amazing how quick the word spreads. I mean, like 24 hours and it's like all the way around the world now.
So I think we definitely caught people's attention, especially with this being just our second year of the festival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. These bookings are definitely ones that are of that higher level and ones that most people don't even think about trying to get. And you wanted it, we went after it, and we got it.
Yep, and we learned a lot. So this next year, we will definitely be working ahead as far as the artist bookings go because we get to compete with this little festival called Wakan, which we love. This is actually going to be my third year and Brian's second year going to Wakan. So I've actually only missed one so far, which is crazy to think about because they've blown up like huge. But yeah, we'll be working the ticketing booth again. So if you guys are arriving at the festival, we'll be there to greet you and give you your wristbands, and security will check you and make sure you don't have anything illegal on you and no glass, the normal festival rules.
The normal festival stuff. I'm just glad we don't do the security part of it. We just get to look at their tickets and give them the right wristband.
I've worked many of jobs in the festival world, and security is one of them that I have not. So I think I'll keep it that way. I think I'm good on security.
Yeah, no, I did a few times in my old days. I don't want to ever try to do it again.
But yeah, it's been a super exciting, fun time getting all the responses from the lineup, and tickets are on sale. They are $133, and that includes camping Thursday through Sunday. So a really good price point, and kids are welcome. You can bring your family. I get this question all the time, and yes, dudes are allowed. You can bring your boyfriend, your husband, your friend that's your best friend. Guys can come too. The theme is just empowering women in the music and arts industry. There's definitely going to be a heavy feminine energy as far as the festival itself goes. Most of our vendors are women. Most of the artists are women. Staff is about half 50-50, I would say. Food trucks, I think, are all women. So yeah, lots of women, but definitely men will be there and are welcome to come as well. And kids under 13 are free. So that's a nice little perk. So if you have some kids, you don't have to pay extra for them. And we're going to have a whole kids space, and we have some volunteers helping us with that. We got tons of glow sticks and paint and games, and we're going to have some workshops for them as well. So they're going to have lots of activities that they can do while they're out there at the festival.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not really heavy into EDM music and stuff like that, we do have a few, singer-songwriters, soloists and stuff like that. But also the land is just so beautiful just to get out there for nature. I mean, for 3 days at a standard campground with primitive camping is usually about $50 a night. So even if you just want to go for a long weekend and have a nice, beautiful area to camp out and hear a little bit of music here and there and have some wonderful workshops, I mean, the property is amazing. I was so happy I got to see it finally this weekend.
Yeah, we went out there on Sunday to do a little site visit with Jason Turner, who's our production guy from Nashville. So he woke up early in the morning and drove out there and met us out there with the owner, Jeff. And we haven't been out there, the three of us, Jeff, Jason, and myself, together since Goddess Awakening the first year, which was March of 22. So it was pretty crazy to all be there together again. And then, like you said, you were there for the first time, so you got to see the space. And then a few of our friends from Good Soup Collective came out. Sarah, Nate, Bex, they all came out and kind of helped us get some ideas figured out. And they're going to be helping us with the second stage for the silent disco and making sure that looks super pretty. They're going to be one of our sponsors, so that's definitely appreciated, as well as Millennialistic, which is our friends with the podcast in Nashville, Brian and Xavier. And then the New Earth Alliance, which is going to be Dustin Ramsey out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. And he's actually been traveling all over Asia the last 2 months. Right?
It's been fun watching his travels all over there, somewhere that I've always wanted to go, but never made it to. So it's kind of like, living vicariously through him right now.
Yeah, he's been all over Asia, like several countries. And he's coming back just for Goddess Awakening. So he will be back for the festival. And then I think he's going back out there and probably staying pretty full time for a bit.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yep. Crazy to think that he's going to just pick up and move over there to little old Asia, Vietnam or Thailand or somewhere, wherever he ended up liking the most, I guess.
Yep. So those are our sponsors, and we really appreciate them helping us out with the festival this year. And it's really cool that it's some very close friends that have been friends for a while. So they're all on the flyer with us as well. Then, of course, Brian, boyfriend Brian, this Brian, and I are Awaken Entertainment. So that's kind of like our umbrella brand, which we will have lots of news coming soon with that. But right now we're focusing, of course, on the festival. Mm-hmm. But Brian has some pretty exciting news. Next Friday
is my last day with Verizon. And I, they gave me the opportunity to take a very, very, very hefty severance package to leave. They're trying to, I guess, downsize, restructure. I don't know what you want to call it with a Fortune 50 company, but they offered me, a decent sized bag of money that I was like, I could pay myself out of all my debts and focus on music and our business and getting all our stuff up and running, basically like kind of what I had envisioned taking a few years with our in-between working time. I'll be able to fast forward that in a matter of a few months, plus just nice having this next month to focus on the festival and get all that little bits and pieces done before we head out there.
Yep. So we'll have lots of time and energy to spend on the other things for the business that I've been talking about for years, and we've talked about since we've been together pretty much. And we've got a lot of exciting things coming soon for artists. We pretty much want to be able to help aspiring artists, growing artists, up and coming artists, to get their name out there so they can get booked at more shows. Basically, it's just helping these artists grow in the way that they want to. Social media is a really strong suit for me, so that's definitely an area that I can help those artists with their presence there, because it is so important. Growing your following. And as far as events go, I'm very connected with a lot of people in a lot of cities, and I can definitely help with getting people booked in different places. And then just like connecting these artists with each other across the country too. So we'll have artists that we can connect in every region pretty much. And then you also have contacts internationally and have been an artist for a long time. So you can also help with that avenue of like having a package together, like your EPK, or if you need digital media, we can help you with that. Basically, it's just helping you to grow your business as an artist, because it is a business at the end of the day.
And it really goes back to that saying, you don't know what you don't know, and that's like with being in artist relations and the talent buyer for Goddess Awakening this year, like dealing with a lot of the regionals and some of the locals and stuff. It's like, they just didn't realize like, oh, that's the normal way that you should be doing it. So it's like, yeah, and then I just started talking to some of them, be like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And they were like, heck yeah. So I think it's definitely, we have a good business model that's coming out. We just got to fine tune it and put it out there for the masses. Cause like you said, with what you know and what I know, that's a lot of information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got lots of ideas, and it's really just going to be like, we are a one-stop shop for anything that you need as far as events go. You can book us to plan the whole thing. You can help us if you need help with the day of running the event, because people don't realize unless you've done it, especially for bigger events and festivals, multi-day events, it's like the day of, just like a wedding, that's the most important day. Like, you can do all the prep work that you can and that's available, and the day of or the weekend of, like, you never know what's going to come up. So to have someone there to support you when you have to figure those things out, that's one of my favorite things, is being able to just figure out the things as they come to you.
Yeah. And I think, we definitely have a really good business model that we're going to put out there, because you're seeing so many people that are like now new to the EDM or music industry. And they're like, oh, I've got a bunch of money and I want to do an event, or I want to do my own festival or whatever. And it's like, if you don't know anything about the industry, you can have all the money in the world, but if you try to do it yourself, it's not going to probably go out well. And that's where we would come in, and I love that concept that you and I are coming up with. I really feel like it's going to be something really, really big.
Yeah, because like I said, you can have, of course, having the money up front for an event is ideal. So if you have that, that's a great start. And if you don't have that, then we can talk about, what budgets look like, and realistically, what you're able to do, because we've seen pretty much every week at this point that festivals are getting canceled. And probably the main reason is because the ticket sales are so low and pre-sale tickets are so low. And we understand how that goes. And thankfully, this time around, we have our budget and we have the money available up front to pay all of our bills. And we cross our fingers and hope people show up at the gate, because, 85, 90% of people are probably going to buy tickets last minute and mostly at the gate. So it's just kind of making sure that you're planning for what you have and not overextending yourself and putting yourself into a bad situation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's kind of funny because we're coming full circle. When I was doing my events out in Virginia with my old business partner, that was always the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure is like, we would go to the ATM before. I mean, obviously it was a much smaller show. It wasn't the big festivals and stuff, but we'd always go to the ATM, get the money that we had already agreed for every artist to get paid for the night. And yes, every artist did get paid no matter what. And then we put it in an envelope with their name on it. And as soon as they came in, handshake, envelope in the hand, they put it in their pocket or count it if they wanted. And we let business go. And now we just party and have a good time. It's not the artist's responsibility or worry to make that money back. It's on the event, the people throwing the event, the promoters and the producers and stuff like that. And that's just really the way it should always be. And I'm glad that, we're in that position as well to be able to do that with this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we've been saving money pretty much every week to put towards the festival. And we've done it. So I'm really proud and thankful that we have been able to do that and have our friends / partners who are also helping us make that a reality too. So yeah, we've got a lot of things coming with Awaken Entertainment. And then our friends, as I was saying, from Nashville, our production team and our business partners, Fifth Dimension Presents
Yep.
and Fifth Dimension of Sound is going to be who's providing the sound and all of the cool things that you guys are gonna want to be out there to see. I've known Jason Turner for about 12 years now. Yeah, that's crazy. And we've talked about our wild dreams for a long time. And I've always heard people say, oh, Jason has all these cool friends and things and connections. And like he has tons of toys and lights. And I think for the first time for real, like Brian got to see that firsthand where we were on site at the venue and he was just like imagining all the things that he's going to be doing for the, for the event itself. And then of course for the main stage, which we'll spare you the details. You can come check it out, buy a ticket. But
all I'll say about that one is that, we're expecting a few hundred people, but you're getting production that you normally get at a festival that has tens of thousands of people. It's going to be insane. Like really, really crazy. Like, I don't think people realize that what they're in for.
Right. And I mean, I don't really think I knew what to expect the first year myself as the person who's putting on the festival. And I don't remember how early before the festival he sent me stage designs. And I was like, whoa, this is like a cool stage. Like, whoa. And just hearing him talk about all the things he wants to do for the stage. And it's not even just like really awesome sound. It's like art and projection mapping and other cool things.
Yeah, let's not keep going on that. We're gonna give it away.
That's all you get. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And then I have two good friends that are actually gonna be running our media team and getting all the good content. So Sally, who I've known for a little over a year now, and we've actually not met in real life. We were just internet friends so far, which is super funny, but that happens a lot in my life now. And then Xavier, who I've also known for about same amount of time I've known Jason Turner. And they're going to be helping get all of the video content. They're going to be making the after movie for us. So, and then we do have some volunteers as well that we're going to bring on and help us grab content. And we've got a couple drones now that I know will be involved in capturing footage. So we're going to get lots of really good content for anyone who misses it, just so we can make sure you have the most FOMO.
Yes. So that way when 2025 rolls around,
can't miss it.
Yep.
And we will lock in those dates very early. So I'm not someone who likes to wait to the last minute for things. I am the planner. So we will have lots of details locked in very early. I'll probably have the date for next year locked in like the weekend of this year. So, and I think we're going to like these fall dates. I think it's going to work out really good for us.
Yeah. Cause I mean, our last thing we want to do is compete against anybody. We also don't want to be competition for somebody else, because I mean, we're going to grow as well. And this time period doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of competition with it. So other than just making sure we lock in our headliners ahead of time. So,
yeah. There's only one major event that's happening our weekend, which is really cool. Cause of course, if in the festival world, there's always 1 million things happening. So I'm really happy. Well, there was 2. One got canceled. Unfortunately, a festival in California got canceled last week. So there's one major event that I am aware of. So that's pretty crazy.
And that's the thing. Like we talked about it before. Since COVID, a lot of people have been scared to buy tickets ahead of time, because the festivals got canceled and they're fighting to get their money back, or they don't get their money back and stuff. And, that goes back to what we said. We're already completely funded. Everything's done. We're not going to cancel on that, but people are still scared. So, this will give people hopefully that peace of mind for next year too, that they start doing it a lot sooner in the year.
Yeah, I know Electric Forest, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to, where they had like a loyalty program. So I'm going to definitely bring that to play starting this year, where it's like if you bought a ticket for this year, you get, you know, the special sale or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just like super appreciate the people who were there for year one and that are like promoting a ton for us for year two. And like, those are the people who are going to be like, I came to the first Goddess Awakening, the second Goddess Awakening. And like, we literally can't do it without people buying tickets. So
No,
it's like,
100%.
people have to come. People have to buy tickets. People have to want to be there. And it has to be a special experience for them. And that's genuinely what we try to create. And it's something I don't really talk about a lot, but it's a lot of pressure. Like, the reason I started this whole thing is because I was helping with music festivals, which is definitely my passion. And I was noticing that there aren't women on the lineup. Like, I remember this festival at this same venue I helped plan, and there was not one female artist. And I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Like, I really hadn't even thought about it until that point. And then I just started to pay more attention, and I was like, this is really bad. And that's when Jason Turn and I talked about it at that festival and was like, what if we just did our own festival? And it was all about empowering women and booking women. And here we are 3 years later, like, we're for real booking names that people know and so many artists that are like inspired by the women that we have on the lineup. It's like a whole full circle thing. And at the end of the day, like, I'm still a normal human being, just like every single other person. I'm just literally doing what it is that I want to do with my dreams. Like, I'm making it happen. And I think that's weird for people. And I have people reach out to me probably daily, and it's like information, or like, I've had people reach out to me and say, oh, they didn't like the way I interacted with them. And it's almost like I'm held to this higher standard because I'm doing something that means something. I don't really understand what it is exactly, but I feel like I had to bring it up because, especially with the lineup drop yesterday, it's like it's happening again where people are like reaching out to me and sending me things. And it's mostly, I feel like when it's more personal towards me, I'm like, I feel like if I wasn't doing all this good work, people wouldn't have as much to say to me. But then it's like, I can't really control what people say about me or to me, but I have to remember that I'm literally doing my best, just like everyone else is. But for some reason, I get held to this weird, like, higher standard or something. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't mess up because I'm doing something where I'm like promoting empowering women and harm reduction and safe spaces, which all of those things are core values for me, absolutely. But it doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm still trying to figure out like who I am and like what I'm doing in this world. But I feel like a lot of people, a lot of times, just, I don't know what it is. It's like I get extra feedback, I guess I could call it, from people sometimes. And I'm like, man, I'm just out here trying to live my best life too. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to think of it in two levels. One, because of how important this is to you personally, you're hypercritical of yourself. So you're really seeing everything because you want it to be perfect. And then from the outside looking in, a simple analogy is if you have 100 cars driving west and there's only one car driving east, anybody who's looking is always going to look at that one car that's driving east because they want to know why the hell it's different. Why is it doing something that everybody else isn't? And that's where you're at right now with Goddess Awakening. You know, it's like you said, I mean, slowly but surely, you're starting to see more and more females on the bill at some of these bigger festivals and stuff. But like anything in the middle or lower levels, there isn't, you know, until you start talking about these multi-million-dollar festivals where they're basically booking every artist in the world anyways. There isn't an even booking level.
Yeah.
You change that. So people are looking at that as being completely different. And that's why people pay attention more.
Yeah, people are definitely, I would say probably since like pretty much after the first festival, I feel like when I had the festival, obviously, and it was a great experience for every single person who was there, like literally all positive feedback. And then I still get people who come up to me and tell me like, oh, I wasn't there the first year, but so-and-so was there and they told me about it. They said nothing but great things about it. And I'm like, sweet, that's good, because that's the brand that I want to create. And I think too, people have a hard time like putting their dreams and monetizing them. And I said that we talked about this earlier, but it's like, if you're an artist, you can't just do it for free, because then how are you going to support yourself and, you know, your supplies or the things that you need to be able to be an artist? So it's like getting paid for what you love. It's like this weird thing for people, but it's literally what I'm trying to create with, you know, this business and then our umbrella business, where we can bring on more people and show them like, you can do this and it's okay to get paid for the things that you love. You should get paid for the things that you love, and you shouldn't have to do other things to pay your bills. You should be able to just like be supported by what you love. And for some people, maybe that's 3 different things. I'm all over the place, and you know that, but like, if I can make money off of my festival one day, that'd be awesome, because that would just give me a lot more freedom to focus on that and helping more people be able to do what they want to do.
Well, that's like, what do they say now? Every millionaire entrepreneur has 5 to 7 different hustles in order to get to that point. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. Like, you know, any given month, it's like, okay, we could do this, this, and this. This month, people really want that from us, so we're focused on that. And then the next month, it may be something different. You have to adapt and be really, you know, open to being able to do multiple things, because if you really pigeonhole yourself, then that's when you start having a problem, because you have to get that one thing and that one thing only.
Yeah. So, yeah, all that to say, I'm just a human being like everybody else. So I'm going to mess up too. And sometimes I want to be a hermit crab and not be the social media influencer that apparently I am, which is so weird still. I get paid by Facebook. It's a pretty big deal. I'm just kidding. It's not that much, but it's cool knowing people are paying attention when I'm talking about like important things.
Yeah. I mean, like yesterday, the reach was almost 8,000 interactions on the lineup drop. Like,
it was
that was the week. That was the week.
Well, it was the biggest social media day ever for Goddess Awakening. Ever. Like, by far. Which makes sense, but also it was like everyone was sharing it. Anytime I opened my Facebook app, it was just everywhere. And
still is today.
Today as well, yeah. So that's been really cool to just like see people are like, I don't want to say surprised, but I feel people are kind of like, oh shit, they're booking some headliners. Like they're making me pay attention. And like I said, some of these artists are artists that other like regional up and coming artists look up to. So I've had so many people be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to play on this lineup with this person.
I mean, how many times have we see from some of the ladies that are on the lineup? I'm literally crying right now that I get to share this bill with Kiva, and it's like, wow. And
it's even more cool because some of these people have, you know, got to work with me for the first year of Goddess Awakening. So I have a lot of returning artists, which is super awesome, and those are some of the core team members this time around. And then there's also lots of new people who have actually never worked with us in a big scale event like this. So just for them to experience like the hospitality we offer and the stage they're going to get to play on, this is probably the best stage that maybe at least, I'd say 75% of these people have played on yet.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and never mind even just going that far into it. Just us staying true to our word. If we say that this is what's going to happen, we've shown them every time this is happening. You know, there's no tricks. There's no, well, that didn't work or whatever. It's like we say what we mean and we do what we say. So it's
pretty cool. Brian bought me a little.
We're going to segue away from the.
Yeah, Brian bought me a what's it called? 23andMe.
Yeah, 23andMe on
he bought
Amazon
me-
Prime Day.
Yeah, he got me one of those, which I've wanted to know my stuff forever. Which I kind of knew. Like, I knew I'm German. I for sure knew that. So that was really cool since we went to Germany and all that good stuff. But you have to they use your spit for your DNA, and it takes a while. It took like 6 weeks, I think, from start to finish. So you could like start with making your family tree, which was super cool. So I started getting some information. My dad's side is really easy to figure out, but my mom's side's a lot more complicated and like secretive, which is what I was told when I was growing up anyway. But my dad's side goes back to Pennsylvania, like till like the late 1600s. They've been there. I'm like, Pennsylvania, like they've been there that long. And that's where my grandma lives still. My brother lives still and his family. My dad lives there again. My aunt and uncle live there. Like that whole side of the family is just in Pennsylvania. So that's wild. And then, yeah, so today I got my DNA results, which was exciting. Well, it turns out I'm very, very white. So that was shocking. Just kidding, it wasn't. I'm 48% Germanic Europe. That, again, no surprise there. I figured I was probably about half. Next, I am 16% Baltics. So I don't really know much about the Baltics. Isn't that like next to Russia or something like that?
I spent almost 4 years of my life in the Baltics.
Okay, well, help us
Bosnia,
with some geography.
Macedonia, Kosovo, Croatia, those areas. It originally was part of like the USSR way back in the Soviet Union time periods, and it's kind of like what they now call Eastern Bloc. So like you start coming down from the north, like Poland, Czechoslovakia, and into there towards east. That's where like the Balkans kind of is like in between. You'll start getting over into the Middle East and stuff like that.
So that's my next biggest one after Germanic Europe. Very interesting. Then at 11%, we have Wales. That's pretty cool. I don't know much about Wales either, but I know about Wales, but I don't know about Wales.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay.
And then 8%, we got France.
That one's weird to me.
Why is that weird?
I don't know.
I don't seem French.
No, it's also such a tiny bit. You know what I mean? It's
well, because I'm mostly German. And Baltics, apparently. Baltics. Weird.
Balkan.
It says Baltics.
I know, but Balkan.
Okay. Well, anyway. And then after that, we got 7% England and Northwestern Europe. Okay. Then we got 5% Sweden and Denmark. That one's super cool. I like that one. I want to go to both of those places.
I'm down.
We almost went to Switzerland. That's different than Sweden.
A lot different. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not Swiss. I'm Swedish. Interesting. I don't have any Swiss. That's weird.
Well, the thing is that you're 48% Germanic.
So that could be like with them.
Correct. Because back then, during the Roman Empire and stuff, the Germanic tribes that encapsulated also part of Switzerland and Austria and that whole region. There wasn't a Germany back then.
That makes sense.
I mean? So you technically could be part Swiss.
It's probably German.
Yeah.
And then we've got 3% Scotland. That's a cool one. Yeah, I like that one too. And then, 2%. I am 2% Jewish.
That one's really, I mean, it's not weird, but it is weird. I mean, a lot of Germans back in the day were Jewish. So, I mean, that makes sense back then too.
But what was the one that I thought I was? I thought I was from, it was Germany and Ireland. There's no Irish.
Nope.
That's weird. They lied to me. My parents.
Oh, God. Well, again, I mean.
That's weird. I guess that could be. Wales, I feel like that wouldn't be.
Wales, British.
That would be with them.
I mean.
Potatoes.
Wow. I apologize to any of my family that is Irish.
I got an education in Oklahoma, okay?
Oh, my God.
And I was a smart kid.
What does that tell you?
It's scary. Very scary. But yeah, it goes like further in detail with like inherited from parent, and it shows you different things. Early Pennsylvania settlers and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'll have to deep dive more into this. But yeah, I am 48% Germanic Europe. No surprise. I think the biggest surprise is there's no Irish, and I got 2% Jewish.
Yeah.
But no Russian.
Again, Balkans.
Oh, so that could be Russians?
The Baltic region, yeah.
Huh. Well, it doesn't say that, so we're just going to say I'm not Russian. Russian people scare me.
Oh my God.
Oh, should I not say that? Okay. I mean, I wouldn't want to go there. I'm scared. It's okay. I don't really like the US either that much, so it's not like I'm just talking shit.
I mean, I had the offer once to go play in Russia, and I do have to say that I didn't take up the offer because it was a little too sus. You know,
how long has Putin been around?
I mean, as their leader or in a position of power, because he was the head of the KGB before he was in charge of the country.
Oh, what's the KGB?
It's kind of like their CIA.
Oh, but more sketchy, right?
Very more sketchy.
I've seen some movies.
I mean, he was the head of the KGB for a long time as the USSR was being disbanded, and the Berlin Wall was coming down, and the collapse of that type of lifestyle or that way of life that was in so much of Europe at that time. And then later on, he ended up being voted into position of power, and then voted again and voted again and voted again, supposedly.
But never mind. We're not going to go into that. We could do a whole podcast about my thoughts on Russia. Putin, not even Russia. It's mostly just Putin. He scares me. All right. So since the last podcast,
I'm interested to see where we're segueing from Putin. Do your best. Let's see where we're going here.
It's easy. Terp Float Festival.
Oh my God.
Well, we went to Terp Float Festival right after the last podcast we recorded, and that was super fun. That was our second year. New venue, but we got to be right next to the beach stage. We got to play on the beach stage. I got to do my first solo DJ set.
And it was an hour and a half.
Set. It's a long time.
You did really good.
I actually really did do good. And I was really worried that once I got up there that like I wouldn't know what I'm actually doing, because usually it's me and you DJing together.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out I did just fine.
You did better than fine.
Yeah. Someone asked for my autograph.
Yeah.
So I got to give my first Space Kitty autograph. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I just had fun. It was a beach party, so I played fun beachy house music that I wanted to play. So I had a good time.
And you now have a much better understanding of why I take so much time prior to DJing, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I got to DJ. That was fun. And then Brian got to DJ. So that was pretty cool. It was super freaking hot. It was like in the hundreds. I almost died the first day.
It's crazy that Terp Float Fest is like one of our favorite festivals to go to, but it's also one of the most physically demanding.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's hot.
2 years in a row, it's been like 105 to 110.
It's the first weekend of August in Oklahoma. What else do you expect?
I know.
Come on, Brent. I'm just kidding. We love you. And it's hot in August. But we made it through August. It was a hot month. It was a fast month. But we did a lot. We got to meet a lot of cool people at Terp Float. So that was really fun. My favorite set was Jason Leach. Yeah. That was a great one.
Sasquatch was also really good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. It's gimmicky,
a
but
guy
it's
that
super
wears
cool.
a giant Sasquatch furry fuzzy outfit while he plays, what instrument does he play?
Saxophone.
Sasquatch plays a saxophone.
Hey, look, anybody that's going to commit to playing that or commit to wearing that outfit and then playing and DJing and everything that he did, like it was a hell of a show. It was a hell of a show. It was really good.
So that was really fun. We had a great time as usual. So shout out to the Terp Float family. We love helping out with their festival.
And if you guys are listening, congrats on both of you guys having your kiddos.
They've both had a baby since the festival. Crazy. The two main people who throw the event. And then speaking of babies, Akana and Zach, they just had their baby as well. Mm-hmm. And then I know at least two people who are due in October. So it was like baby time.
Crazy.
Crazy. No babies here, though. We're still baby free at 32 years old and 47.
The only baby is October 10th.
Yeah, baby goddess awakening.
Yep.
That's all we need for now. I can't imagine having a music festival and a baby. That's
and 5 animals.
Wild.
And you wanted to foster 3 more.
Yeah, oh yeah, there was 3-week-old baby kitties today at work, and that one of the dog groomers is fostering. They have to be bottle fed, and they're about the size of my hand. They're so small and so cute. So yeah, Terp Float Fest. I got an oil change. Make sure you get your oil changed.
Oh my god,
it's really important. My car just hit 238,000 miles. That's
insane.
impressive.
That's very impressive. Like you have over 200,000 more miles on your car than I do.
Yeah. Well, I didn't buy my car brand new, but I bought it with 77,000 miles on it. So I put some work in that thing. Toyota Camry for the win. So yeah, make sure you get your oil changed.
Shout out Christian Brothers if you want to sponsor
yeah, that's
us,
actually a great spot. And then after that, we got to see Childish Gambino, which was super awesome in OKC. So I got to see him at one of his last performances in 2019 at Bonnaroo, which was absolutely so good. And then he was like, I'm retiring so I can be a full-time actor. And I was like, come on, Donald. We know you're coming back. And then 2024, 5 years later, he said, I'm coming back. But now he's like, this is my last one as Childish Gambino.
Yeah, he's given up that name.
But we got to see it, and it was really good.
It was an amazing show.
It was just he's just awesome. He's just a great performer. He's super talented. And I feel like he's just like a really good guy too.
Yeah, he kind of seems really like he would be a good, genuine, down-to-earth type of guy too.
Yeah. They had really good merch. We got some merch. Yep. That was a great time.
Yep. It was very good.
And Willow, who is previously known as Willow Smith, is Willow now. But she's like a totally different, I don't want to say character, but like performer. She does totally different music than what, because my Willow Smith in college was, I whip my hair back and forth, and it was not like that.
Oh my god, I can't believe you did that.
Well, I did. But she was really awesome, really super talented. So I was glad we got to see her open up for Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, who also looks like my best friend Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, so if anybody's a fan, make sure you get out there and get those tickets this go around on this tour because, like you said, it's the last time.
And then the weekend after that, we were in Wichita, Kansas.
Was it? God, it was right after that?
Yeah, we've been busy.
Jesus.
But yeah, we went to Wichita, Kansas. Brian got to play the Tribal Roots
secret
end of
pool
the season
party fundraiser.
Super, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a great time. Got to, they had fire spinners. It was literally someone's backyard and a pool and a full DJ setup. And then we ended up going home that night. And unfortunately, the next day, one of their very long time close friends who was also at the party, tragically, was in an accident and he died. So that has been a pretty hard hit on that community, especially. And for me, it's like the first time I really even had seen this person was that night. And then the next morning he's gone. So it was just like, it's almost like they lost their like Kyle equivalent. It feels like, and like, I have no close connection with this person personally, but I definitely could tell it affected them deeply.
Very deeply in their community.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
So it was like, I could feel their pain, and I definitely, I reached out and, just checked in. It's like, there's just never anything that you can say to make it better. But definitely been having them in my thoughts, while they're going through this, because it was a hit and run, and now that's a whole investigation, and this person is like out of jail on bond right now. So I'm sure there's just like tons of extra emotion and hurt and anger that, that they're having to deal with. So, just sending our love to them, because that's, as we all know, And especially, you know, in this room right now, we are no stranger to losing close people to us, unfortunately. But very thankful that we got to play that night with them, because like they've said, it was a bittersweet ending to say goodbye, basically.
Because, you know, up until that, everybody said it was an amazing time. It was a great party, and they all had so much fun. And so, yeah, like you said, you know, Rochelle had mentioned that if there was a way, at least it was a super good party that he went out this way. So our thoughts and prayers to everybody up there.
And thanks for inviting us out.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be opening up their warehouse season back up here soon as well. They've got lots of shows lined up, including Barclay Crenshaw. So that'll be a pretty big one. I think it's like one of the biggest people they've booked so far.
Yeah, it's that is a huge booking for them. I mean, if you don't know who Barclay Crenshaw is, I mean, it's Claude Von Stroke. It's just his alter ego with more of the dubstep, bass house, and bass music. So for them to get that caliber of a booking rather, amazing.
So definitely check out Tribal Roots and their season coming up here. And then this weekend, we already talked about the Goddess Awakening visit, so that was fun. And then we also had a road to Tulsa stop with Flourish out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we got to go out there, and we actually rolled up to the venue, and sure enough, it was this old building that I used to play laser tag in. And I was like, wait a second, I used to play laser tag when I was like 12. And they're like, yep, it's used to be laser tag. But now it's a music venue. So that was pretty cool. And we got to hang out with some of the people who were planning the Goddess Awakening Festival out of Tulsa as well.
It was super cool how that all just came together, because every artist that played that night is on our lineup for Goddess Awakening. So, I mean, it just worked out perfect that we ended up working together with them and making it a road 2 stop.
Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday, well, Friday and Saturday, actually, the Flaming Lips threw a free show for Oklahoma City at the Zoo Amp. Friday, obviously, we were in Tulsa. So Saturday, we went out and we rolled up at doors open at 6 p.m. And we literally walked straight in, got awesome seats. And I love that amphitheater, because it's all like at an incline, so you get good seats no matter where you're at. But we were basically like right behind the like VIP section of chairs. Amazing show as always. Such a good time. I was crying a few times. Governor Mayor Holt. I get governors and mayors confused too. Mayor Holt. We like Mayor Holt. That's right. We like him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. He was there, and they declared it Flaming Lips Weekend. Labor Day weekend in Oklahoma City is now Flaming Lips Weekend, which is way more cool. Yep. And I was tearing up, and they were like, this is their 40th year anniversary, and they have gone international and toured all these places and done all these things. And they have stayed living right here in Oklahoma City. So it's like, that's super cool. If we have one really cool thing going for us, it's definitely the Flaming Lips. And then they played a whole album, and then they took a break. And then they played the album, some of the songs from the album they played the night before, which I was super thankful for, because that's my favorite album. And they blew up the giant pink robots. And they had 2 dudes in a giant eyeball and 2 giant eyeballs dancing. And he had the lips. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And, you know, I was sober besides a little bit of my 420, you know. But besides that, I was just being myself. And it was such a good show. I loved it. So much fun.
Yeah, I mean, they always put on a great show. We saw them last year up in Tulsa. And it was, I think, so much better at this venue.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Outdoor venues for the win, always. I've seen them at Bonnaroo. I've seen them at an inside thing in Tulsa. And then I saw them here. And yeah, this one was so good. And it was free. It was crazy. They did all that for free. And I got to see my friend Blue worked at the pizza truck, and shout out for the free pizza. It was delicious from, where was it from?
Saucy Sicilian.
Saucy Sicilian. Yeah. So yummy pizza. Really good.
Shout out Saucy Sicilian. Love your food.
Yeah.
Hit us up if you want to sponsor.
Oh my gosh. And then, okay, so cool. This weekend we're going to Dance Festopia.
Yep.
Brian is DJing at the pool.
The Red Bull pool stage.
Red Bull pool stage. It's hard to say.
I know, right?
We got a hotel because
We're too old and bougie.
I mean, we got a hotel.
Yeah.
But we're going to be there Thursday through Sunday. And then, yeah, I'm going to go to a women's weekend in Arkansas. We've got Wakan coming up. And then, of course, the big event of the year, Goddess Awakening. And we are only, what did I say, the 3rd? So we are 4 days away from being 14 months. Wait, 16 months? May, June, July, August, September. So that would be 16 months.
16 months.
We are 4 days away from being 16 months no alcohol.
Crazy.
Woo!
I know, right?
Crazy. So crazy.
Both of us have never gone that long. Anywhere
Ever.
close to it.
No. Not even close.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, there's not a time that I've really there's a couple of times that have popped up where I'm like, I wouldn't mind a beer, or I wouldn't mind one of those, but it's not like, I really want like a hardcore craving.
Yeah. It's the social settings for me, especially still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it's like I don't know people. I'm like, oh. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I also I like marijuana, so I haven't given that up, but that's okay.
But we weren't,
fine.
That's the thing. We didn't necessarily have problems. We didn't necessarily have to get sober. We just realized that our bodies would be much better without the alcohol. There wasn't really a need for it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and then I am, I think 5 days away from 11 months without vaping, you know, so I gave up nicotine coming up close to a year now, pretty soon. That's really crazy to think. I will say there's still times where I'll have some pretty good, I want to vape moments, but I'm not going to go back to it.
Yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. I think that's about it for today.
Yeah, you think so?
Yep, think so. October 10th. Get your tickets for Goddess Awakening.
Yep, still 133.
133.
Yep.
33 is a big number this year. Especially because my birthday is I'm gonna be 33. Apparently that's a good year. That's what I keep hearing, so.
I can't remember.
And that's all, folks. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Goddess Awakening. Check out our link tree in the description for all our socials and upcoming events. This podcast is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.